All right, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Dash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, which are the men that rule well, and the men that taught us the truth of the Holy Bible. Okay? And just coming at you with this quick hit, scripture of the day. All right, what's today, the 16th, September 16th, 2025. Really, man, this scripture is a precept that came to mind when I was listening to the elders listening to one of the elders from Dallas talking about the different psyops that Esau is doing right now and all the different things that the enemy, that the accuser is doing right now. Right now, Esau has a lot of stuff in the works. Also, it's September, man. Their unholy month of October is coming up, where they do a lot of sacrifices, a lot of rituals, and sent out a lot of incantations. All right, which none of those things will affect us, the believers in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say in Numbers, that there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. All right, but this scripture came to mind because at the end of the day, Esau is in the position of power, and we have to keep in mind the scriptures, man, that this is our only way. This is our only fighting chance is by the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, not by, gathering guns and weapons to yourself, not by, throwing incantations back. Voodoo is not going to help you. Jesus Christ is definitely not going to help you. All these different false ideologies and religions are not going to help you. What's going to help you is a belief in the name Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And Salakia. And faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the only thing that can help you. Because right now, I'm going to read it though, but we're in a position where, the stronger man is above us right now. But that's done by design, by the Lord. He purposely made him, stronger than us right now. Because really he's baser, he's weaker than us. But he made it to where he is above us. Not because he deserves it, but just to show his own power. Read Romans, the 9th chapter. The same thing with Pharaoh, all right? How the Lord hardened his heart to burden us harder, only to make his fall even worse and to show his power. Okay? Isaiah 41:14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob. Now let's sit back and just digest this. Let's really get chew the cud, so to speak, right? So it says, fear not, thou worm Jacob. Jacob is us, the 12 tribes, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. And those of you also, I always got to say it, those of you that don't look like a typical Israelite, that don't look like a typical black, Hispanic, Native American, but you believe in the 100% truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, this also goes for you too. We're Jacob. We're being compared to a worm. A worm is weak, right? A worm doesn't have any actual defense. A worm could be, if a worm is out in the concrete and doesn't find its way to dirt, quick enough, the sun will dry it out and kill it. It can be stepped on, it could be ran over, it could be cut into pieces so easily. I don't know if, I know when I was a kid, I used to see other kids that I never was into, picking up worms and cutting them, but I used to see kids cutting up worms like they were some type of toy. But no, man, the point is that worms are weak. Worms have no defense. So we're being likened unto a worm, but not in a bad way, because, you see, we're in this predicament so that the Lord can get us out of it, because we're the ones with the faith. So it's actually a beautiful thing to be in a position where, you don't have the carnal strength, because the Lord is all about balance. So if we don't have the carnal strength, that means our spiritual strength is there. And it is. Right now we don't have spiritual powers, but soon we will. Right now the chariot hasn't picked us up yet, but soon it will, Lord's will. We don't see the angels right now, but soon we will. And that's what makes this so amazing. That's what's going to make this top the deliverance of Egypt. Because, man, the accuser is at work right now, man. They just offed a prominent figure in their community, and the immediate thing to do was to blame the the so-called black man. Blame Judah immediately, and it's like, whoa, what did we have to do with that, right? Nothing. But that's the point. See, everything, you know, hey, I'm not even going to say it right now. They're probably going to clip my video, but, hey, at the end of the day, everything that's going on right now is aimed at the tribes. You may think it's not, but, but it is. From the National Guard being out there to, that so-called, innocent Ukrainian woman that got slashed up by that Judite. That's all to get the people riled up to come after us. And we're a worm, right? But what does it say? It says, and ye men of Israel, fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Lord in all caps. It says, I will help thee, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So we have to keep in mind that it's all about the Lord helping us at the end of the day. See, that's what makes this thing so amazing, because we're put in a position where we can't defend ourselves the way that we used to. This isn't the Maccabees. It's this time it's all spiritual. We're not lifting up shield and buckler this time. We're not lifting up a sword. This time we're on the position of the three holy children, man. We just got to be in the furnace and call upon the name of the Lord and give praises, and what's going to happen. The Son of Man's going to appear. You see? We have to remember the scriptures in these times. That's why the scripture came to mind as I was listening to the elder's video. And then I was also looking at, different things, of Jake trying to prepare and trying to be gray man. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's basically, just real quick, it's you try to blend into society, but really you're a tactical, guy that knows survival things and, things like that, carnal shit that's not actually going to benefit us. Ain't nothing wrong with gaining a little knowledge on how to find clean water and make clean water, or even having a firearm. There's nothing wrong with those things, but at the end of the day, legally, might I add, those things will not deliver us at the end of the day. That's why it said, I will help thee, saith the Lord. Because at the end of the day, your pea shooter is not going to work against a missile from Esau or whatever other weapons this devil. See, this devil has weapons he hasn't even showcased yet. And it's going to be used on the tribes, man. Those things are not going to help us. What's going to help us is Michael the archangel. Scriptures say Michael shall stand up, the great prince shall stand up for the children of thy people. In this time. When that time of trouble arises, a time has never been, Michael the archangel will stand up and defend the elect. Those that are found written in the book, Lord's will were of that number. All right? But I'm going to read it again. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to deliver us at the end of the day, and we have to believe that. And we have to have faith. All right? This is the scripture of the day. Hey, we're in a position of difficulty, but a dangerous position. Bet our faith in the Lord will get us out of it. All right? Because he said he will help us. Isaiah 41:14. But that's all I wanted to bring out through the Spirit. I hope this was edifying. And exhorting. I want to give all praise and glory and the highest honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to my elders and apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth. All right, and peace, blessings, and salutations as always to the elect. Shalom.